So moving ahead with Gautam ji, Gautam Bandyopadhyay is the co-founder and CEO of Trust. He also was part of NovoPay. So he has built technologies. He was a banker earlier. He worked in HDFC, ICC and all, and I think, sorry, HDFC, and then came to the tech field. So from a journey of being a bank operator to an entrepreneur, he has seen a lot of things on the ground. And now he's building technologies for the entire lending piece, from customer acquisition to analysis to the LMS and everything, right? So, and probably many of you don't know, he used to be a very good football player, and he used to control the game as a midfielder, which is a very important role, because you have to slow the game, you have to fast the game, you have to play to the strength of the team. So when you are building these type of models, when one side the business have to grow fast, other side also that there's certain controls which is required, because if you grow too fast also there are challenges. So when you build this type of technology, what is that out of your experience comes that you tell your clients, or you tell your your team even, that they need to be cautious about, at the same time keeping in view that at the end of the day it numbers, right? So how do you address all those things? And one more thing I would also like to understand from you, because one of the things we talk about technology, we forget the human element, right? And we have seen even places like, countries like US, I was made to understand that Amazon, after selling billions of books in online, decided to open up stores, for the touch and feel factor, right? They opened at some point 50 stores, in the US. I was like surprised why they need to do that. So there's an element of touch as well. So even if you can combine these two things together and share your thoughts.
Oh, absolutely, Abhijit. Thank you for that introduction. Yes, I think, so we all know ChatGPT was launched on 6th of December 2022, okay, and it became the largest growing consumer product that we all know. It's like folk, everybody knows that. But in May 23, two things happened. Okay, one is that Samsung had some data leak or proprietary information got leaked, right? And they banned the use of ChatGPT. Similarly, on 19th of May 2023, Apple joined that bandwagon. Okay, so obviously, while there is, these technologies are, however, going to impact and going to change the way we do business, every sector. Okay, whether it is financial services sector, or whether it is banking sector, as in any other e-commerce or so, it is going to change the the way the business is being done. But however, we know that this is a regulated industry, right? Okay, the data has to be residing in India. The PII information, we have to be very sensitive about that. Okay, so can I use OpenAI APIs? The answer to that is no, right? Can I use the the secure enterprise solution that let's say AWS or Azure provides? Answer is yes, but there again the data residency may become a problem, or the cost will definitely become a problem. Okay, so how do we balance this? It has to be a defensive play. Okay, the way I see it is that the midfielder role is very important in terms of how do you actually go about using this technology in a way that has also the human in the loop. Okay, very much. And my take is that essentially there are 4 areas that I think. Okay, and despite all this, we built a product, and so we are a Khosla Ventures invested company. My co-founder and chairman of the company met Sam Altman in California way before the ChatGPT was launched, about 3-4 months before that. And we started working. Based on that conversation, we started working. So Feb 23 is where we did a beta launch of our product called Trust GPT. Okay, and the whole response to that is quite significant. Meaning I'm already doing some 7-8 paid pilots and POCs with different companies, which are, because while the experimentation, see, the year 2023 was more of an experimentation and touch and feel about how this technology is going to be changing my life. Nobody wanted to be left behind, but nobody wanted to go also full-fledged and implement that in a massive way or so. Okay, it has to be a very nuanced play, in terms of how you go and implement these technologies into this thing. So as we stand almost to the last month or towards the end of 2023, my take is that there are 4 things that are going to be quite important, okay, from when it comes to ChatGPT itself. Okay, not ChatGPT, but any generative AI-based solution, including the one that we are building. So I think the first, I believe, is customer experience or customer support. Okay, that is where the largest amount of benefit can be, can actually be acquired. That's because, so think about this. I think some of our co-panelists talked about in terms of, and I'm sure, NBFCs cater to a population of borrowers who are in the hinterlands. They don't know how to speak English. They speak, maybe Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, multiple different languages. Can they interact with their, lender, okay, in their own local languages? And yet the customer support person who's supporting it does not need to know that language to support, to actually cater to that person, right? Then you are cutting down off, you're on your having to hire every language, knowledgeable people, and then every language, product knowledgeable people, okay? So the knowledge barrier of knowing each one of the products, the language barrier of knowing multiple languages, all that can be, broken down. And what happens is that, the AI agent, what we call it as assistant, okay? It actually works on a co-pilot model, and it tells you that this is the, probably the best answer that to the query that has been, provided, okay? And you can choose to use that response, or you can choose to ignore it and write your own response, right? So I believe that that is going to be the, most useful use case from a using of generative AI per se. The second one, and it is also not small, is for your own internal employee training, okay, and for compliance purposes. Now, how many of you, all of you, the business leaders out there in this room, spending must be pouring hours over going through what the regulation talks about it and what really it means, right? Now, wouldn't it be beautiful if somebody, can actually read those documents, summarize it, and interpret it within the policies that you already have it in your NBFC, and then come out in terms of what is the impact of this, okay? Or it could be even new employees who are joining the organization, you want them to be trained, right? Or your salesperson who's there on the ground, we all know, 70% attrition. I'm sure it's maybe more than that, right? Okay, that's what we're talking about. So it is a huge amount of investment, and the quality of the conversation that your people will have on the ground is going to significantly, change if you are implementing, this kind of technology. So that's the number 3 that I see. Number 2 that I see. The number 3 that I see is that whole data analytics itself. Okay, I think, these LLM models, and of course, these LLM models will have to be fine-tuned. They have to be built on your corpus so that they are not hallucinating and talking about, so you're talking about a product of Hero, okay, and it gives you an answer about a product offered by somebody else, right? That shouldn't be the case, because you don't want any kind of a conversation happening like that. So I think the whole analytics, how many times, you guys are CTOs sitting here, how many times your business leaders have asked for a really, offhand, oh, can I get this, this way of cutting the data, and can I get this thing? I'm sure that is something that has been very, very common for all of you to do that, okay? Now I will go and build that whole analytics out there. I don't know if this is going to be used for after, another 1 month, or after that later it might be all junked, okay? But I think these technologies can help you to kind of generate those kind of analytics on the fly. Okay, so I think data analytics can actually be democratized, okay? You don't have to spend that kind of a money to kind of get there, right? So that's the fourth. But I think one of the things that, of course, the fourth one is new revenue, okay? So I believe that, and this is in this order that I'm talking about, right? I don't think that, new revenue will be, so I'm not even covering, something like credit underwriting coming in and, it's playing a major role in that. I think not yet, okay? I would agree with Vivek, okay? That in terms of that human in the loop is like very important for that. But new revenue generation in a co-pilot model, where your sales guy is able to do a better conversation with the customer on the field, okay, or voice-enabled form filling that can happen, to improve productivity. I think that will bring new customer segment, financial inclusion, and therefore new revenue, okay? So I think these are the kind of things, generative AI, it is definitely going to be a changing force. we are clearly seeing, people adopting from experimentation and, sort of toying around with the idea to large-scale deployments that will come in.
Oh, thank you, Gautam. I mean, what a coverage. Hearing from AI to augmented AI to generative AI. I don't know where we are leading to. Technology is taking over life, so quickly.